Hello children, it's time for chapter 12 of the miraculous journey of Edward Tulane. Remember, in chapter 11 there was some digging going on and some dogs sniffling around where Edward lay compressed underneath all the rubbish. So let's find out what happens. Chapter 12. Edward did not have much time to savour the light, for the dog suddenly appeared above him, dark and shaggy, blocking his view. Edward was pulled out of the rubbish by his ears, dropped and then picked up again, this time around the middle, and shaken back and forth with a great deal of ferocity. The little dog growled deep in its throat and then dropped Edward again and looked him in the eye. Edward stared back. "Hey! Get out of here, you dog!" It was Ernest, king of rubbish and therefore king of the world. The dog grabbed Edward by the pink dress and took off running. "That's mine! That's mine! All rubbish is mine!" Ernest shouted. "Come back here!" But the little dog did not stop. The sun was shining and Edward felt exhilarated. Who, having known him before, would have thought that he could be so happy now, crusted over with rubbish, wearing a dress, held in the slobbery mouth of a dog and being chased by a madman? But he was happy. The dog ran and ran until they reached a railway. They crossed over the track, and there, underneath a scraggly tree in a circle of bushes, Edward was dropped in front of a large pair of feet. The dog began to bark. Edward looked up and saw that the feet were attached to an enormous man with a long dark beard. "What's this, Lucy?" said the man. He bent and picked up Edward. He held him firmly round the middle. "Lucy," said the man, "I know how much you enjoy rabbit pie." Lucy barked. Yeah, I know. Rabbit pie is a true delight, one of the pleasures of our existence." Lucy let out a hopeful yip. "And what we have here, what you've so graciously delivered to me, is definitely a rabbit, but the best chef in the world would be hard-pressed to make him into a pie." Lucy growled. "This rabbit is made of China, girl." The man held Edward closer to him. They looked each other in the eye. "You're made of China, aren't you, Maloney?" He gave Edward a playful shake. "You're some child's toy, am I right? And you've been separated somehow from the child who loves you." Edward felt again the sharp pain in his chest. He thought of Abilene. He saw the path leading up to the house on Egypt Street. He saw the dusk descending and Abilene running towards him. Yes, Abilene had loved him. "So, Maloney," said the man. He cleared his throat. "You're lost. That's my guess. Lucy and I are lost too." At the sound of her name, Lucy let out another yip. "Perhaps," said the man, "you would like to be lost with us. I found it much more agreeable to be lost in the company of others. My name is Bull. Lucy, as you may have surmised, is my dog. Would you care to join us?" Bull waited for a moment, staring at Edward, and then with his hands still firmly around Edward's waist, the man reached one enormous finger up and touched Edward's head from behind. He pushed it so that it looked as if Edward were nodding his head in agreement. "Look, Lucy, he's saying yes," said Bull. "Maloney has agreed to travel with us. Isn't that swell now?" Lucy danced around Bull's feet, wagging her tail and barking. And so it was that Edward took to the road with a tramp and his dog. End of chapter 12. Well, we shall find out what happens with Lucy and Bull and Edward and their adventures that are just beginning by the sounds of it. We shall find out what happens in chapter 13. Until then, good night and God bless.